Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
What I would do if I ended up in like a radio studio booth. What kind of like fucking scat would come out of my mouth?
Yeah. What radio personality would just take over your body?
I feel like I would just be possessed by a guy named like Dave Bryan, and I would just
yeah. Yeah, and you just guide the nation through
their morning traffic. Absolutely.
The weather, absolutely.
Oh my god. The amount of time from like 6 until 11 as a child that I listened to morning radio hosts, like that was a thing.
Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, absolutely same.
And that was just like, oh yeah, like if you ever heard them on the street, or is like, same as like fucking, sorry, is there an anonymous person in our fucking document right now? Hello?
What?
Sorry.
Oh,
I got distracted from my cold open because there is someone in our episode notes right now. There's Catherine Hardwick, our producer, has joined the show as an anonymous manatee.
Kick someone out?
No, it's okay. I mean, that's fine. There's just a silent producer.
No, I'm changing this back to
restricted. Oh my god.
I'm booting them.
No, it's fine. I feel perceived and in a way that I've never expected to be.
I'm refreshing.
But you disappeared. The manatee is still here and you are gone.
No. Who? Are you there?
Is it God? Hello?
No, it's still here. Fuck, get out.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Can I chat?
Yeah, are we allowed to like chat?
This type of message?
With them? This is more important than anything that's ever happened to me.
Hey, who are you?
ASL? Why are some users anonymous? Hey, we're recording right now, and this is wild.
This is so scary. Lily, what's going on?
They're just gonna be here. That's wild.
How is it? How are we not able to boot someone?
I don't know. I feel like for some reason, this is like the opposite of AOL chats when I was younger. I feel like someone has like come into my home and I hate it.
What the fuck?
Anyways, I'm going to pretend like that
doesn't. We'll update you if anything happens, I guess, live in the studio.
Anyways, back to radio show hosts. I feel like very similarly to like morning news and like evening newscasters, those like local celebrity types had a very strong hold on me as a child. Yeah. That I was like, yeah, I could.
Oh, for sure.
I could do that. But I also know with strong confidence that if I ever ran into those people as a kid, I would have freaked my bean. Because I thought that they only existed like in the radio or in the TV.
Right. Those are the only two possibilities.
Yeah. It's very similarly to like what I thought teachers were as a child. I thought that they only existed during the time that I perceived them, and then they were gone. And then they just came back when I needed them.
Right.
I imagine that some folks feel that way about us. Every Monday.
Oh my god, they're gone.
They're gone. Oh my god. Just an update on Anonymous Manatee. They are gone.
Anonymous Manatee, also bullying works. So take that advice.
Turns out that...
Oh my god.
That was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh my god. I literally am like sweating.
I can't deal with confrontation, and that was like too much. I feel like a lot of people probably feel that way about us, though. Like, every Monday morning, we're here.
Just a little too much, and they didn't ask for it.
We're here in their headphones, and then we disappear for a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we are the Anonymous Manatee.
We are. Anyways, well...
In your lives. Hello.
Welcome to Into the Twilight, a.k.a. Anonymous Manatee.
Yes.
I think that was my first real experience with a cryptid, IRL. And it was recorded.
Yeah, like an actual, like a ghost encounter. Like a haunting encounter.
And we got it recorded.
Yeah.
Wow. What are the chances? What are the odds? welcome to the space. How are you?
I still
Aside from recovery.
Yeah, I'm still recovering. But also my happy thing, and I don't know if I would call it a happy thing necessarily, but it is somewhat related to our it could also be described as a internet ghost, cryptid, scary, terrifying thing. I want to talk about the metaverse.
Okay, finally.
If you are unaware, dear listener, and also Allie, our good friend Mark Zuck, today made a big ol' stink on a national television.
He is a big fucking stank in my life.
The newest cool way to do virtual meetings through the beauty of VR. And it's called the metaverse, and it is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I hate this man.
I hate him, and I hate everything he's done for democracy and also the world at large. But this is like crossing a personal line, because it is literally just like tech bros reinventing essentially The Sims or Second Life, but for office culture, and wearing those ridiculous little headsets while you're at work, at your job.
First of all, I literally have chills right now because my body is like in fight mode. Like, I'm ready to just like smack the shit out of this dude.
I'm just like rejecting this. My body's rejecting this video. I hate it so much.
My body is like putting on armor because I only ever see this man. This man, Zuck, wants so hard to be just the best man ever. He wants to be like so cool. He wants to be like the best. I only ever see
him. Hey, remember when I was covered in sunscreen and you all laughed and it was really
That's
cool
literally
and
how I only see him. I only ever see him as White Cast Man. If this ever happened, where someone asked me in an in-person workplace, which I don't ever want to go back to, but to put on a sweaty, stinky VR headset and go into a meeting, there's absolutely no way you'd convince me. I'd be the last one to do it. And then I would go around to everyone else's cubicle and slam their head into their desk with it on. There's no fuck.
It's what they deserve. Absolutely. Yeah. It's that is justified. Everything about this is bad, but it's also remarkably funny that it's all the animations and stuff. Because what it is, like a realized virtual office that looks like The Sims, and you have like your own little custom character that's talking and whatever the fucking VR, but they don't even have lower bodies. They're just they went like so hard on making desks and like actual decorations and an outside scenery for the office culture that you are inside a VR headset, and they just stop at the bust and they got no legs.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's rough stuff. No one hey, Mark, no one asked for this.
No, you didn't have to do this. We actually would have preferred if you didn't.
We would have preferred if you didn't. And from everyone that I've spoken to over the last 18 months in regards to meetings, no one at this point wants to be perceived in meetings.
At all.
No fucking way am I going into this and pretending like toxic positivity. Like, yes. No. Eat my ass. Like, I don't want this. I want everyone, all these employees to be paid equitably.
That's all.
And be able to, like, if they have vacation time, to be able to take it without being forced to have their, like, email on their phone during it. Suck. No one asked for this. Eat my ass. God, kid pisses me off.
But I am very excited to see billionaires getting their shit rocked with their fucking VR headsets. So, you know, there's a plus and a minus for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm just... just thinking about that just makes me so angry, because there's so many different ways that you could use your literal billions of dollars. And that is definitely a choice.
Yes.
It's not the one that any of your employees asked for, but, you know, go off.
Sure.
I'm doing okay. At the moment... At this exact moment, anyways, we are currently not having a heat wave, and all of the wildfire smoke is not currently bothering us. So, like, I'm vibing.
Yeah, good to hear.
I don't know if that'll be the same when this episode comes out. So, you know, we'll see. But my happy thing for this week, one, is just, like, consistently Winter Mitchell. But specifically...
Absolutely, we stand.
Always and forever. But specifically Winter this past week tweeted something that I didn't realize how much I needed to see.
Yeah.
and how much it like resonated with me personally. It was 2 photos
Yes.
of Madonna specifically at 37 years old, wearing Versace, this very like lilac purple slip dress, very beautiful. It's very clear that in this photo, because Madonna's sitting down at the Versace mansion, from this photo, very clearly not wearing a bra.
No.
And I can't tell, but probably also not wearing underwear.
I don't think so, because that is like a high slit. The slit is not even a leg slit. It goes up to like the middle of her torso. Like,
yes, she is living her truth in Florida here.
absolutely.
And at the Versace mansion, at this table that she is very, very concentrated and looking down at, she is reading tarot.
Just a whole ass vibe.
It's the biggest mood I've ever seen. I've never felt more represented by Madonna.
Yeah.
And when Winter tweeted this, I was like, wait a second, Madonna? Reading tarot. And then all the parts of the sentence, like I continued to reread the sentence, but enunciating each part differently.
Yeah.
As I read it.
It's like the new version of Cellar Door. It's like the most like pleasing sentence to read.
It's
out
just incredibly powerful. Not just everything that she's wearing, but the fact that she's like really intensely looking at this tarot spread.
Yes.
And it's unclear, like, is she doing this for her? Is she doing it for someone at the Versace mansion?
Yeah.
Is she
I need someone to do
something?
an enhance and show me what those cards are. Like, what?
I have so many questions. None of them are being answered, but somehow it just made me feel at peace in that moment.
Oh, for sure.
And I love that a lot. So Winter, as always, doing the Lord's work, and I appreciate that immensely.
We simply have to stand.
Truly. Winter, I know you will never hear this, but please God, this is an open invitation. Anytime, if you have anything coming up in the next 6 quarters that you would like to promote, you are welcome in this space. It is yours.
Go off.
This is a light news week, I would say.
Not a lot going on.
Not a lot going on, but that doesn't mean that we don't have some heavy hitters on here as well.
This is true.
The first of which, I don't know that this is brand new news, but it does feel like it is important to mention.
Yes.
Especially because of the fact that, as we have seen throughout the years, there are a lot of corporate accounts related to Twilight that we need to be in contact with.
Right. We have some questions we would like
We have
answered.
some questions. We would like to be in contact with you. So this is just a direct plea, I guess.
Yeah.
To the Lionsgate TikTok account. First of all, the work that you are doing, no one asked for it, but thank fuck you're doing it.
Yeah,
Thank
it is
you.
deserved. It is incredible.
I distinctly remember the first TikTok that the Lionsgate account did was one that I sent to you, Cody.
Yes. It is unhinged, these are TikToks.
Of them celebrating their 1 million followers on TikTok, which was them finally posting, as a treat, the dirty version, the uncensored version of Twilight. And oh my God, what I would give for that to actually exist.
Oh God, I need it so bad. Uncut.
I need it so bad, for one, because the fact that I know that Stephanie would die if that existed.
Absolutely. She would just simply turn to dust. Yeah.
Yes, that would be her, like, last and final nail in the coffin. But 2, because I know from experience of these 2 actors how much Rob and Kristen actually curse as people.
Right.
So it's really not that difficult to think, like, oh, just accidentally during this time that they might have needed to cut some stuff out of there. Very important. I love this so much. But yeah, Lionsgate TikTok account, I need to know who you are. And if you don't want to say this out loud, that's okay. You're more than welcome to use any sort of anonymity that you would like.
Yeah, we'll put a funky little voice filter on you. We can...
Absolutely. We can do whatever you need. But we would love to know about your ways.
Yes.
Because you are very clearly taking the renaissance that's happening right now and using it to your favor. So good on you.
You're an artist. I would
Oh
argue.
my God, yeah. You are absolutely an artist. Speaking of art, would you like to give us an update on Spencer and where it's at?
Absolutely. We got a little bit of Spencer news
Just a
here.
tease.
Just a tease is that we finally have a release date,
I love this.
which is exciting because we know it's premiering at festivals and it's doing its thing and, it's coming. But now we know for sure it's going to be in theaters on November 5th.
Why does it not shock me that this movie is a Scorpio?
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Unsurprising. Yeah.
I am shocked that when you shared this on our account that there still is no trailer yet.
No trailer. We've got no trailer.
Why
And
is
that's
this
upsetting.
coming out in mere months and we have not seen anything?
I would like
Yeah.
to see it.
I would like to see it for many different reasons, but
Yes.
at least just give us the trailer.
Give me anything. I
Literally.
want stills. I want to watch Kristen Stewart move while being Princess Diana. Is that too much to ask?
Apparently. Especially because the fact that we've gotten teased this week with Elizabeth Debicki.
True. That was a big day for Princess Di
Oh my
adaptations.
So I need to see it. Show it. Please.
Please.
I just want to see.
Don't be shy.
No, don't be shy. It's okay. Just show us the goods.
Yeah.
But yes, as soon as that trailer comes out, you absolutely know you'll be able to find it on our Twitter account because we
Yup,
will not
absolutely.
shut up about it.
Yes.
If you hear just like random yelps from like outside your door, it's us just like projecting and letting you know that there's the trailer's out. So
Yeah.
we have some stuff going on in Vampire Academy.
We
week.
do.
When we last left off, what I remember was very 2005, 2006 kind of going on.
Yeah.
Specifically, if I remember chapter 10 more so, of like getting some backstory. We got the schnapps.
Yes.
We got
the peach schnapps, the birds.
Yeah, we finally figured out what the heck was going on with the like raven that they kept like teasing about.
We get a little sexy moment.
Yes.
With Jessie and Rose.
And lots of good language about like sexuality.
Yes.
Definitely not like sex shaming at all.
So good and very not dated in any particular way.
No. And so that is where I remember us leaving off. Do you want to start us off with chapter 11?
Absolutely. So, we're having a little girls moment here.
Just like girl time.
Just like girl time. We got
In
Lissa
class.
and Rose just chatting and stuff while fully not paying attention in class as per usual.
Yeah, fuck that.
Where Lissa's like, hey, do you need something to wear for tonight? Because it's the assembly for All Saints Day.
Literally, why did my brain go to like, oh, it's like homecoming. Like everyone's going to go to the gym.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, yeah, it's could you imagine if it's like, I want Vampire Academy prom. I don't know if prom exists in here. I don't remember if it does. I would like to see it, you know?
Yeah, my immediate brain went to like, oh, they have like a student council. There's going to be like challenges and all this shit. Not like, oh, like a royal assembly. Like it's a dinner. Got it.
Like a regular, just people eating and stuff.
Yeah, there's not going to be like fucking pizza challenges or something.
Right. Which is apparently a really big deal. Like all the bigwigs of the vampire royals show up for that, you know? And it's a big thing.
Yeah, Rose doesn't give a shit, but like Lissa's pretty.
Yeah,
seems to be pretty carry.
Lissa's like, this is my moment. Like, I have to prove myself. And I'm the last of my royal family. I gotta serve out there. And Rose is like, oh, I didn't realize. I forgot that was happening. Sure, I guess, whatever. She's like, I guess I don't have any. I'm running out of lip gloss, and that sucks. But
Yeah, I mean, the important things in life.
And then, so class is over. That's basically it. They're just saying like, yeah, it's a stuffy little thing that they have to do, which is annoying for Rose, because she doesn't like to do any of that hoity-toity shit, you know.
And that's fair.
Yeah,
when we find out what
absolutely.
this is, it does sound really boring.
It sucks. It looks like it did not seem very fun. But then Rose goes to do some training with Dimitri.
And it's not the usual training.
No, I think too, it's like, this is such a shift in, ever since, like, Dimitri, like, kind of busted in on...
His
on
nut.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Are you proud? Are you proud?
No, honestly.
That's why I want to sit in that silence for a little bit, just
No,
to let
I
it
don't.
soak in. What I was gonna say is, ever since Dimitri stopped Jesse and Rose from canoodling,
Oh, yeah.
and they had that little exchange where Rose is like, "Is he checking me out? Whatever."
Oh, yeah,
like,
in my black bra.
in my sexy black bra,
Where I look better than anyone else who's ever worn a black bra.
But, like, now there's such a shift, too, where she is, like, actively being like, hey, Dimitri's actually, like, pretty fucking hot. There is something going on here that I'm, like, thinking about, you know? And it's, like, it's a very hard switch where that becomes a thing, you know?
It's so obvious that she's crushing on him because when she goes into the gym, she's like, I noticed he was wearing a t-shirt and loose running pants.
Ooh.
And, like, he looks really good. And it's like, Rose...
Yeah, and she's like has an internal monologue that's like, stop looking, look away.
It sounds like the most basic, nondescript workout gear, and she's like dying.
Fully
over
what
it.
someone would wear to a training, like at a gym, like
100%.
So they get a little more of like passive aggressive training talk here, where he's like, all right, what's the first bad thing that happens when you're, you know, face to face with a Strigoi? What do you do? Or what's the problem?
He loves asking these kind of questions.
He does so little of like actual teaching.
No.
And combat. And he's just like, let's do some hypotheticals right now. How about that? It's like, no, Dimitri, we need actual substance in training. Sir, please.
I don't know who told him that this is the way that you educate someone. Is like, I'm going to make them guess until they're so exacerbated by it that, like, I have to just say the answer. Rather than saving us all the time.
Exactly.
And just saying it to begin with.
So they do a back and forth. It's like, oh, well, they're immortal. And he's like, yes, but no. And then she's like, I guess they're, like, really big and powerful. And he's like, yes, but also no. And it's like, man, just what do you want?
Right.
And they start to do more, like, actual fighting each other, which is finally what we're here, you know? And Rose gets fucking bodied every time because Dimitri is very strong and very powerful.
He's like a god or whatever.
He's like he's a big, powerful dude.
And it seems like finally there's, I don't know, it seemed like Rose was like really getting into it. Yeah. And then Dimitri was like, you should probably go.
Yeah, seriously, it's like, actually, you know what? And he keeps saying things like, oh, you're not doing anything wrong. And she's like, I need you to give me concrete tips and feedback. But yeah, anyway, you should get out of here. And she's like, what the... What the fuck?
No, wait, don't leave or whatever. And he's like, no, you have like, don't you have a dinner to go to or whatever?
Yeah, it's like, don't you have that very, very fancy dinner? It's
very awkward because especially since we find out, I hadn't really thought of it, but like both of them have to go. Yes, so what the fuck?
Right. Yeah, so it's like, oh, I guess we should go to this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then Rose is like calling him gorgeous in her brain and is like getting real flirty in her inner monologue.
But out loud, she's calling him grandpa, and he's 24. I felt my bones start to dissolve.
Absolutely, yeah. And she makes a big deal being like, he's 7 years older than me. He's old enough to be, well, not really anything, but that's still, like, weird. It's like, Rose.
She really does it, like, she really starts to, like, beat herself up over this, too, because she's like, he was, like, able to start reading when I was born, like, started, like, kissing girls when I was, like, a baby, and it's like, this is not helping us at all.
No.
It's not good.
No. Thank you, though.
So.
We also get a lot of, like, interior decor updates about what the school is like, because it's like, ooh, it looks super, like, Victorian and old school and stuff, but they're like, but we have Wi-Fi, so and we got like fluorescent lights, and that's cool. It's like, okay, let's go world building. Hello.
I thought that was very interesting because it makes sense that they would have internet just for staying up to date and all those kinds of things.
Right.
But then why would you still have fluorescent lights?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't,
If you're going to stick with the whole architecture of it being like Victorian.
Get some candelabras and shit in there. Get some funky lighting up in there. Yeah. Lean into the bit.
Especially if you're going to be, your daytime is at night. The worst thing is going to be having fluorescent lighting. Gross.
Yeah. No, not ideal.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting because of the fact that Rose kind of like describes the everyday of what it looks like and then goes into like major detail of how they've transformed it for the royals that have come in.
There are so many paragraphs of what this place looks like.
Nearly like aiming towards Stephanie Meyer levels of description.
Seriously, I can close my eyes and fully picture every corner of this banquet hall. They got fancy tablecloths, they got the candles, they got all these different things.
And it's a very stereotypical vampire. Like lots of red, lots of white, roses, lily, like
the whole
everything that you would imagine when you see like vampires in a party city, that's what's there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it seems like it's a nicer quality, but all of those tropes are there.
Absolutely, they're represented.
Which feels...
It's so much. It's so extra.
It's gross.
But I appreciate it. I appreciate the commitment. We get the fancy guests coming in, the royals, the very cool visiting guests of honor walk in, one of which is Miss Queen Tatiana.
Yes.
Who's apparently just like head bitch, like running shit, the queen.
Yes.
And she immediately walks by everyone's, like, all of the, like, regular people, like, the guardians and, like, you know, the Hampiers and stuff, fully just ignores all of them. And then,
yeah.
You know, is like, as soon as there's a Maroi, she's like, ooh, I can look at you. It's like, ma'am, come on, rude.
Can you, like, be a little less subtle here?
Yeah,
with
for
your
real.
classism? Thank you.
Yeah, it is strong here.
It's not helping Rose's case at all. That she is wearing like a plain ass sweater to this.
Not dressing up at all.
Not dressing up at
Everyone's
all.
also in like ball gowns and shit, like really fancy stuff.
Yeah, Lissa had to, I think, borrow one from Natalie.
Yeah.
But even like Dimitri has what seems like his like guardian, I don't know, like one fancy outfit.
Yeah.
Everyone is...
The business casual.
Right, exactly.
Guardian fit.
Everyone is in fancy attire, and Rose just, like, pulled up in an Old Navy sweater. Like, what? Like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
I didn't ask to be here.
You all made me come. Yeah, this is wild. So when I read this initially, I thought, like, oh, a queen. Got it.
Yes.
Like, important. Based on what we've heard from Lissa, like, probably not kind.
No, definitely doesn't seem like a
definitely doesn't
friendly
seem nice.
Woman.
I was not expecting what she said to Lissa.
This was the most brutal shit I've ever... It was like a true bait and switch in like the most like expertise way. It was haunting.
In front of what seems like at least like 2, maybe 300 people.
So she's talking to the Maroi, and then she, like, calls Lissa out immediately. She's like, Vasilissa, what a beautiful name. And we're so sorry about your family. We're happy you've returned. And goes on this whole long speech about how the Dragomir name is, like, commands respect, and they have, like, a long history. And which is leading up to maybe being like, oh, you will carry this torch.
Right, because you're the last one of your family.
You are the only lineage left, right?
Right.
And then she pauses. I'm just going to read it because it is, every word of it is poison. And it's
Truly.
so, She says, you're doubly named with power. Your names represent the finest quality peoples have to offer and hearken back in time to deeds of greatness and valor. And she pauses again and says, but as you have demonstrated, names do not make a person, nor do they have any bearing on how that person turns out. Ugh. And then she just walks away.
Oh. It's important to note obviously, with any sort of royal, but especially in this academy, right? That, like, this head bitch is surrounded by, like, 4 guardians in front of her and 4 guardians behind her, right? So, like, not only does she walk away, but then she has this, like, fucking security walk by her, too. And it's like, you are not important.
It is the most dramatic and brutal thing I've ever witnessed. It is truly wild.
One of the most, like, vitriol things I've ever read.
Yes.
Because it is so, it's not even covert, but, like, usually when we read these things, it's very, like, Mia, and it's, like, like a chihuahua kind of, like, barking and insulting. Yeah. This is so, like, I'm using the royal we. Like, I'm very up here. I don't need to be so overt with my insults.
Yeah.
To get across my power. And it's like, oh my God. I don't know how Lissa made it through.
Seriously.
Dinner.
She beelines to the courtyard and just, like, chills with a statue and some dead trees.
Some dead trees?
Some dead trees.
As you do.
And has a little chat with Natalie, which Rose is, like, very much eavesdropping on because she was going to go say hi to Lissa, but she was like, I'll just let them have the moment, but I'm not going to leave. I will hear this.
Right.
And she was like, she shouldn't have said that. Like, she was being such a bitch. Like, that sucks, you know? You're good. Like, everyone here loves you. And Lissa goes full self-deprecating, being like, no, I did deserve it. She's right. I'm a coward.
But fucking Natalie, this ma'am, is, like, trying her best to be sympathetic, but is very clearly struggling because she starts to try and...
I wouldn't equate it. Very not the same situation.
Yeah. She tries to, like, talk about her own experiences, but then she also is trying to, like, get dirt on why Lissa and Rose left, too.
Yeah, she's totally prying. She's using this, like, moment of weakness to be like, oh my God, this was totally, like, how I read the wrong chapter for class and I look like a damn fool. But also, like, you know, maybe you leaving was justified if you want to talk about it. You don't have to, but, like, I'm here if you would like to.
Gross. I love that this was the point where Rose was like, all right, shut the
Let me
fuck
step
up.
in. Yeah, hey.
Love her. Love her.
Yes, an absolute ally. Natalie's truly is, like, scared in her boots.
Yeah, because she's like, well, guess this is my time.
I guess I gotta go run to daddy and... yeah.
Gross.
So
Hate that.
Yeah.
I felt incredibly sorry for Lissa.
Yeah.
And also for Rose, too, because, like, Lissa's very obviously in this, like, incredibly vulnerable moment and has no ability to, like, self-control.
Yeah.
And so is, like, projecting all of her emotions, and Rose is like, yes, let me take all of these.
Yeah. Yum, yum, yum.
Because because they're the Bond babes, which is rough.
Yeah, I do appreciate the Rose. Like, I will kill her if you want me to. Like,
Right?
I don't care. And she's like, Rose, stop it. If anyone hears anything you're saying, you will be arrested on the spot.
That is incredibly treasonous, so please stop saying that.
Don't do that. No.
But I would love to see that, you know, like 44% into the way through this book. Yeah. Let's just take a turn. Try to kill the queen instead.
Yeah. You know what? Just do a little girls trip. Kill the queen.
Just kill the queen. I know that I have said this for like 2 weeks now, but I'm fucking tired of Mia. I'm tired of her.
I hate it. I hate this plotline, this character, everything about it.
Nothing she does is interesting to me.
She gives me absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Especially not only in this chapter and the shit that she says, but then what she ends up doing next chapter too, which is fucked.
Yes. Very fucked.
Yeah. One of the things that she says, that Mia says here too, I guess I had forgotten about when Rose started talking about her backstory. And Mia does like nasty digs in this moment when she comes up with her like 2 friends and is like, hey Lissa, so I know that you're really sad right now, like super sucks to be a royal and have everyone look at you and be like, you suck, but what if I just make this worse for you right now, actually?
Yeah, how about I just make you look like an absolute loser? You know?
Right.
And being like, oh, that, like, she's just making fun of her for, like, getting called out like that. And then also being like, you know, I may not be royal because you're all, you know, spreading, not rumors because it's true, but, like, the fact that everyone knows I'm not really royal. But at least I have parents. And at least I see my parents. And it's like, Mia, stop it.
Mia, shut the fuck up.
Who asked you? Why are you here? Go away.
are you even allowed to be out at this time?
Right.
God.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, like, bless Rose in this moment for having the impulse control, because I honestly don't know that I would have. And to be fair, Rose didn't really either, because they were about to fight, and then Dimitri was like, can you not, like,
Yeah,
I'm
she had to be stopped.
I am supposed to be working right now, because there are royals here, and I really don't need to break up your fight.
Yeah. It's so funny, too, that, like, in this moment with Mia, Rose is like, she doesn't pick a fight with her because she's like, I don't, pick fights or start fights when people can see me. I like to do more covert stuff. But then, like, a couple pages later, she initiates a fight with Christian very much in public.
Like 50 feet away from this.
Yeah, it's like, Rose, you can be honest.
Yeah, just say that, like, you essentially just got picked up, like, physically got grabbed by Dimitri and thrown away. Like, that's okay. Yeah. You can just say that. But yeah, Dimitri was like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
You're about to turn into a pumpkin, so
right.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up, right? Because, like, Rose is very clearly asking Lissa if she's gonna be okay, and Lissa's not okay.
Yeah, and she is being like, I'm fine. It's okay.
And she's
I'm
not.
good. I've never been better.
When she's just, like, tears in her eye, like, very clearly. She's standing next to a dead tree, for Christ's sake. Like, she's not good.
No. The metaphors are here. They are very clear.
And so when... I just love that when Dimitri and Rose are walking away, Christian very obviously must have had, like, a fucking beacon on Lissa's emotions.
Yeah.
And starts
his alarm went off in his head.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta go.
This woman's vulnerable. I need her. And starts going towards her. And I did love that, like, Dimitri is watching Rose pick this fight with Christian. And is like, I could intervene, but I'm not.
But actually, this one is worth it.
This one is good. I'm going to just let this one play out, actually.
And Rose is just like, leave her alone. You're a stalker. You're a weirdo. Nobody likes you. Get the hint. And then we see this, like, dramatic thing where Christian's, like, about to go out to see Lissa in the courtyard. And he's, like, covered in shadows. And you can see him contemplating. And he just turns away and goes to another corridor. And it's like, down bad. This dude's down bad.
Rose, can you chill?
Lissa has one other friend besides you. And he's maybe not a good guy, right? But
he's maybe not the worst
He
guy.
is being incredibly kind to her so far. Even though he is a little weird.
Weird doesn't mean bad, always.
Oh, yeah, right.
He hasn't proven himself to be the bad, right?
Yeah.
But he's on fucking thin ice.
He's on thin fucking ice, yeah, for sure.
He has set someone on fire. So, like...
Yes. Let's not forget.
We are starting chapter 12. This chapter is rough.
Yeah, on a lot of different fronts. So...
Rochelle, and I don't know why, Rochelle was like, you know what books need in 2006 is more animal cruelty.
Right. One was not enough.
One in my book was not enough, so I need more. But it's later on in the chapter, and I don't remember when, but we'll get to it later. But then there's also, like, self-harm later in this chapter.
Yeah.
Just know that, and we'll get to it and warn you with a timestamp later.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was not fucking expecting it, Rochelle.
It was very jarring, absolutely. Yeah.
And Lissa gave off that vibe. Like, it was kind of hinted earlier on.
Right, yeah.
But it was like, Rochelle,
it was
please.
Very traumatic in the way it was unveiled.
100%.
So we start this chapter. Rose is trying to sleep, and she cannot. She is tossing and turning, and she wakes up and is like, oh God, my bond. My bond. Lissa's in danger. Lissa's freaking out. Something's wrong. Right. I gotta go save her. But it's also the middle of the night, which means she can't really go anywhere without actually going through, like, the bureaucracy of the system,
I also keep forgetting that, like, nighttime for them is, like, it's, like, noon.
Right. It's, like, it's noon, so it's vampire night, but it is midday.
So, like, sneaking around, and Rose mentions this, too, of, like, she has a third floor room, so it'd be hard to, like, climb out and, like, sneak out. But also, you'd be sneaking out, and it's, like, bright as fuck out.
Right. You're out. Everyone can see you.
Right. It's hard to sneak across a quad when it's, like, 1 p.m.
Yeah. So she, like, goes to one of these, like, fucking hall monitors or whatever the fuck, and is like, I need to go see
I need my
Dimitri.
guardian.
I need my guardian right now. And she's like, sorry, you are under house arrest. And she's like, it's an emergency. And she's like, well, you look fine. She's like, it's not that. Can you just let me? Can you just call him, please?
So annoying.
And then Dimitri comes, and he's like, Lissa. And she's like, yeah. So they're like, got it. Let's go see our girl. And shit is not good.
It's not good.
Very not good. Lissa is apparently in the bathroom, and Rose like, let me go in there first just to like see what's up.
I was unclear in this moment if it was like a hallway, like a dorm hallway bathroom, or if it was a bathroom in her dorm.
I just assumed it was in her dorm, but
I assumed so as well. But when Rose like went into the bathroom, she said she walked down 5 stalls.
Okay, yeah, so definitely it's a communal bathroom situation.
Yeah,
okay.
And so I was like, what? This is wild. That she would have to, there would have been so many more steps of like what happened in her room, and then having to go and like put that in the trash can in the communal bathroom.
Oh god, yeah, that makes it so much more messy.
It really does. So gross. First of all, but I know she didn't have anything to like do in that.
No,
so
no, exactly. It's like that's what happens, you know.
Right. Exactly.
So she walks into the bathroom and notices Lissa is fully covered in blood, like head to toe, her face, like her arms, everything, like covered in blood. Very scared.
This is like dual self-harm and animal cruelty.
Yeah,
for the next like 6 minutes, prob.
Yeah. Oh, it's so rough.
It's so bad. I felt so bad because I think like it's very clear from this that this is not the first time that Rose had to do this.
Yeah.
Which is rough.
Really sad. Yeah.
But also just the idea that like when you open up a stall that someone is just like covered in blood, from a triage level, it's like, where am I supposed to start here?
Yeah,
like,
it's like, So she starts by like cleaning her up and like getting her okay, and notices that it's both blood on her from something else and also blood from her wrists, essentially. From self-harm. And so it's like a double whammy of like, this is all bad. There's a lot of not great stuff going on here.
I'm glad that Rose wore a sweatshirt.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're on that time clock of like, the hall monitor was like, you have like, I mean, they didn't say a time, but it's essentially like, you have 2 minutes to like before we come in.
And like the only point of like levity, if I can even say that, in this very traumatic scene is that like she gives her the hoodie, which is great, so she's like mostly covered up, but doesn't realize that she still has blood all over her face, so I did not really clean that up, and that was just like in 4K, like fully exposed, and being like, oh, okay, what happened here?
I think it makes sense that Rose was like treating the like open wounds
was much more of a priority. Absolutely. Like,
And so it had just been like, oh, you know, it's just like blood on her face. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And so when Dimitri comes in, is like, what the fuck is going on?
So we learn that it is a rabbit. Blood from a rabbit.
Yeah. Lissa's just like, it's the rabbit. Like, we're supposed to know.
Right. Like
everyone around her naturally is like, what rabbit are you talking about?
Yeah, and it looked to have like incredibly torn apart, like fully like eviscerated by the time she saw it in her dorm, and she just like fully panicked and like tried to like clean it up or even try to heal it, you know, and get it away so before Natalie comes in or something.
Yeah.
But it just, because it was so already terrible how it was placed there was no hope. It just got blood everywhere and just like made it worse and made a whole big mess, which is rough stuff.
Yeah, that's awful, especially because the fact that she mentions it was like right in the middle of the floor.
Yeah. Ooh.
So there's only so much that she could do before that's like, I'm assuming it's in a dorm that there's carpet, right? So there's like only so much that you can do in that moment. And so naturally, like I guess it's not a hall monitor, but they're meant to, like, it's a matron, and so like the dorm person and Dimitri are like freaking out of like, this keeps happening, like what's going on?
Yeah, it's like our security seems to be fucked if this is the second very traumatic instance of this in mere days, you know?
Yeah. Especially because this one, if I'm not mistaken, had a note too.
Yes, which is threatening, even more
threatening. It was
threatening.
super threatening. one of the things that I think that Lissa mentions later on was that she wanted to try to, like, fix the rabbit.
Right. Yeah.
I think she knows better than to say that, like, in front of them, like, the people there. I think that was, like, after they got her, like, into the, like,
when she was in, like, the clinic, mm-hmm.
But I think that the idea of that is just awful to imagine for so many different reasons. But, like,
right.
I think that one thing that consistently, like, breaks my heart about Lissa's character is, like, seeing something, whether it is an animal or just, like, an object in general, that is, like, completely broken, and her natural instinct being, like, I am going to, like, I have to put this back together.
Right. And especially over her own well-being, you know, and her own, like, prioritizing herself, you know, because she's just, like, fully in a traumatic situation and is getting deliberately threatened, and she's just like, I have to save this. I have to save this bunny. Like, it's like, oh, so sad. Like, oh, the self-sacrifice and that is, like, wild.
And it's rough, too, because I think, like, there's a part during this chapter where Rose does not understand Lissa's coping mechanism of self-harm.
Yeah. It's not treated very well. It
is not written well from Rose's perspective. And I think that understanding where Lissa's coming from here of, like, she is punishing herself.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
For not being able to control something that is, like, very obviously out of her control.
Right.
It is a hard line to walk, because I think that is something that I don't know that it's for a lot of people, but for folks, like, that is something that will really resonate.
For sure.
Using some sort of coping mechanism of trying to understand something that is incredibly hard to comprehend.
Yes.
And trying to self-soothe in whatever form that they did growing up. So that is incredibly hard. But yeah, when they got to the clinic, I found it was rough, because Lissa's, like, obviously exhausted. Like, had a really long day of, like, school.
Had a bad day.
And then, like, just getting wrecked from the queen. Yeah. And now, like, this again. And it's rough, because, like, knowing that your dorm, which is supposed to be, like, your safe space in this academy, is not safe again, has to be just unbelievable. So she's just, like, naturally, like, having a hard time, like, relaxing and being able to, like, sleep in this moment, but does seem to, like, finally relax. Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Whereas Rose is just having a complex.
Yes. Yeah. In her own head, as usual.
I think mainly because of all of the stuff that Carp said, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. And just, like, being afraid of this, like, you know, cyclical thing that's going on.
Yeah. Just the warnings of, like, this, like, mysterious they who will, like, take Lissa away because of these powers. So, you know, who's to say?
Yeah, good stuff. Love that.
Just continuing to, like, tease us with this, like, big bad.
Right.
And it's just unsure of where that will go, which is not good. It doesn't seem to get better the next day.
No. Not at all. But things are a little different for a myriad of reasons, you know?
Yes.
Because the shift is no longer on Lissa, which Rose assumed it would have been, but on Rose herself, because she notices people looking, and people are always looking at Lissa, and she's just like, back off, like, whatever, especially after, like, the first trauma and stuff, too. But she notices people are looking at her. She's like, what the fuck? Why am I the main character today? Like, what the fuck is this? What did I do? And it turns out that there's a gossip amongst this.
Shockingly, it happens in their, like, fucking animal studies class when they're talking about the evolution and survival of the fittest with animals. Subtle, Rochelle.
Why does all the animal drama happen in animal class, or, like, the response to it? But I also think that's one of the only classes they have together, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But still a little on the nose, Rochelle.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that it seems to all kind of, like, come to a head with fucking what's his name? I think it was like just a random guy who tells Rose, like, it was like, come on, Rose, like, I bleed for you.
Yeah, and then Mia's like loving this, and everyone's just like giggling, and she's like, wait, what what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And apparently it is revealed that everyone kind of knows about the whole blood situation between the two of them.
Between Rose and Lissa.
And Lissa, yes. And immediately, like, Rose is like, fucking Christian, you fucking asshole, how dare you. But she forgets that she also didn't directly tell Jesse, but Jesse found out when they were
necking.
Getting down and dirty, when she got a little too turned on by the idea of getting her blood drawn during sex.
What I love about this is they are literally in class. They are
Literally.
doing an activity in class. There is a teacher that is supposed to be paying attention to them.
Right.
And during this, Rose, followed by Lissa, storm over to Christian's desk. And she essentially, like, slams her hand onto Christian's desk and is like, you motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, how dare
Says
you.
this in class. The woman
Out
who's
loud.
supposed to be on probation.
Yeah. Ugh, the absolute nerve. I love it.
Yeah. And Christian doesn't give a shit.
I'm Christian Ozera. Okay, I set people
people on fire.
That's my thing, and you know that.
Yeah, if I wanted to do gossip, I would... I know. I feel the same way, Spooks. I wouldn't do gossip this way. I would do it in a much bigger fashion.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then Christian's like, well, how about you talk to your fucking golden boy over there? Meaning Jesse. And Alyssa's like, well, Jesse doesn't know. And Rose's like, uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-oh. I may have done a bad.
And Christian obviously knows because Jesse won't shut his fucking trap. And this is obviously being spread everywhere. But then they do start to realize eventually after Rose starts to like confront them. Like when Rose goes over there and is like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, what the fuck is this?
When Jesse was like, just like smiling and like laughing, he went from like having this like cocky smile to just being like one of absolute terror. And it's yeah, bud.
Obviously, it's Rose. You don't fucking mess with Rose because she will destroy you emotionally and physically.
Jesse, you absolute nut. Do you remember when Dimitri grabbed you by the throat? Like,
yeah.
Sir?
What happened to you being a scared little boy then? What happened?
Exactly.
You just want to let everyone think that not only you had sex with Rose, which you did not, and
fucking Ralph
doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And giving her this reputation of this, like, you know, promiscuous
gross
woman, person who loves blood during sex, which is like, you know, the scarlet letter of Vampire Academy.
Right.
Like,
yeah, she says it's like the worst possible thing you could do.
Yeah, it's brutal, and none of it was real. It's like, you motherfucker, I will kill you. I will absolutely kill you.
But she doesn't. She does, like, she's like, I have to do something that I've never done before, which is like, I have to like walk away.
Yeah, very strong, Rose.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Which is rough, because, you know, later when she goes back into her room, she's like completely breaks down.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, based on what we saw last week, you know, it's her honor. And it's not just, you know, something that matters to her now, but also, you know, Dimitri's involved and Lissa's involved too, which is rough. The ending of this I found to be quite interesting, of like when she actually gets a chance to talk to Lissa for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Dimitri kind of bends the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
Lissa seems to have gotten just like a little taste of the dark side.
Yeah, she's like, ooh, schemes.
And I found it odd because it seems like Dimitri was like, okay, y'all get 5 minutes. I'm not going to listen to this conversation though. It seems like Lissa came to the conclusion that like Mia was the mastermind of this.
Yeah,
which, like,
the puppet
obviously...
master. Yeah, because Jesse and Ralph are fools.
And also like Jesse was scared shitless.
Yeah.
So why would he do this?
Yeah.
So I found it very odd. And mainly because the fact that like Rose was not feeling good about this too. But the fact that Lissa was like very set on taking care of Rose as well. It's also a little bit...
a little fruity,
It's a little bit fruity. But also the way that Lissa seems very set on like using compulsion.
Yeah.
Of turning the royals against Mia. is
Yeah.
wild.
Pretty hardcore.
So I'm curious to see how that backfires, because we do have a
Right.
lot of this book
It
left.
certainly will, yeah.
So that will be interesting. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But we do have chapters 13 and 14 next week.
Ooh.
So I am curious to see. I honestly thought that we would have a little bit longer before Lissa went dark side, because we have so many books of this series.
Right.
But, you know, like, go off if it happens in this book, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I'm here for it.
We have an amazing list of patrons to thank. Would you like to start us off?
Hell yeah. Shout out to Mallory Hardwick.
Pew, 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 pew.
Mm.
Thank you to Katie Black.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you, Kylie Minty.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh, yeah. Shout out Carrie Goldberg.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Mickey Meyer.
Boing, 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 boing.
Pew, pew, pew.
Thank you, Rebecca Cullen.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Mulch. Shout out Taylor Brown Town Lautner.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh.
Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh.
Pew, pew, pew.
Thank you to Bailey Christian.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Cassandra Bomer.
Ooh.
Oh.
Thank you, Kristen Strider.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Julia Stewart.
Ooh, yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you, Megan Pattinson.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
Boing, 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 boing,
Pew,
boing.
pew, pew, pew.
Thank you, Rachel Seeker.
Pew, 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 pew.
Ooh,
Thank you to Ashley Dragomir.
ooh.
Ooh.
Thank you to Alexandra Ozera.
Pew,
Ooh,
pew, pew,
ooh,
pew.
ooh, ooh.
Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Boing, boing, boing.
Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Pew, 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 pew.
Mm.
Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Ooh.
Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to India Peach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Pew, 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 pew. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Abby Penn.
Boing, 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 boing.
Bow, 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 bow. So, we were not sent in a fan fiction this week. So I found a fan fiction.
Had to
myself.
do the dirty deed.
I did it myself. I found this fan fiction from a website that I have never been to before. It looks like it's pretty popular, but also I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
This is from a website called Booksy Silk.
Ooh.
It looks it's got a lot of like red silk satiny imagery, that's for sure. This is a book proper that was
Ooh.
written by Carrie Ann. The book, it seems like, is titled Missing Dawn, a series of missing moments. So I'm going to be reading from chapter 1, which is titled Isle Esme. And the
Ooh.
reason why I selected this is because according to the Twilight Saga wiki and their very extensive timeline, the anniversary, specifically the 15th wedding anniversary of Bella and Edward, would be happening this week when we are recording this. And they would be in Isle Esme right now. So
Damn.
love that. The summary of this book is as follows. This is a series of missing moments from Breaking Dawn, starting with Isle Esme. Since Stephanie skipped over the good stuff, I couldn't resist filling in some of the gaps, and in all honesty, I was much more interested in seeing events from Edward's POV than I was in Jacob's, my personal opinion. Anyway, it'll probably be about 5 chapters or so when I'm done, not sure yet.
Wow.
So,
love it.
Love that. And this is from chapter 1. So I'm just going to read a snippet of it. I just got very nervous because I realized that there's a lot of like sexy stuff in here, and I'm not going to read that part. These thoughts darted through my brain in a matter of seconds. I heard a rustle of fabric, and my breathing hitched slightly as I realized she had just removed an article of clothing. A robe, perhaps? I concentrated on breathing slowly and evenly as my wife, stepped into the water. My sudden stirrings of arousal at knowing that Bella was approaching me in all her naked glory warred for dominance over my fear for her safety. Fucking blushing bride, Edward. Okay. Bella's intoxicatingly familiar scents engulfed my senses. Her hair, her skin, her blood. She had showered, and the crisp, flowery perfume of her shampoo and soap intermingled enticingly with her natural aromas. I can do this. I will not harm my Bella. I can give her what she wants. What I want, if I'm being honest with myself. She was approaching more closely now, moving gradually and steadily as her body's movement sent little ripples against mine while I stood frozen to the ocean floor as still as a statue. And scene.
Oh my god.
Put
that in the Library of Congress.
Sometimes I forget just like how much of a fucking blushing bride this man was.
I love it so much.
He's
you gotta
just
go
like,
back to your roots, you know. Remember who he is.
He's just like so nervous all the time. And people are like, oh yeah, it's because he's a vampire and like he's so serious. It's like, no, he's just like...
He's a scared little boy.
He's just a scared man all the time. And he really can't handle conversations about sex because he's scared all the time. Anyways, thank you for being our anonymous manatee this week.
Yes, absolutely.
And I swear to God, please don't ever come into our episode notes while we're recording.
Leave us alone.
Leave us alone.
Safe space.
We love cryptids, but not when they're harming our recordings, because it's incredibly distracting. Even when you can't comment on there, you're just perceiving. That was the first real taste that we got of a live show, and it's clear that we could not handle it.
Nope.
So,
For sure not.
Nope, absolutely not. Anyways, thanks for being here. And as we say in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit
and get whacked.
Ooh.
Oh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.